welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Pulse. I am Jamin, obviously running this one solo, but excited to get this one out to you guys. We have our Ring of Honor Best in the World 2015 preview coming this Friday on pay-per-view. Can't stress this enough. This show looks like some really good stuff. On paper, the card looks great. Got a lot of talent here showing up here Friday for this show, and definitely if it's your first time. Obviously, if you guys watch our show for the first time, checking out Ring of Honor's product, definitely go out of your way to get this if you're able to. Obviously, it's on a Friday, so it's kind of a tougher day to be able to catch a show on. But it is at, I believe, 8 Eastern, so at least it kind of gives you time if you got work later on a Friday night or whatever the case may be, to get in here and check this show out. And I will definitely we'll be all over this. Hopefully, we'll have some. I don't know who's going to be over. I know we'll be able to cover this on Friday night, but. Hopefully we have some people over, and it should be some good stuff. Got, like I said, a lot of talent here, all the titles on line, and a huge main event here being set up. So can't stress this enough. Just definitely go out of your way. Just all independent wrestling as far as anything goes. Definitely, go out of your way to check this one out because this looks like one of the better Ring of Honor ones that we've seen over the past couple months. One thing that definitely need to get out there is the fact of us not being able to cover a lot of shows. As far as, like I said, being on a Friday night, sometimes scheduling issues come up to where we're just not able to check them out. We have actually checked out some of the recent ones. I know we got Final Battle at the end of last year that I believe the main event was like Cole and Jay Briscoe, I think, in some sort of street fight, something like that, which was pretty good. And having that show at the same place that they're going to have this show, they have a new kind of, I can't think of what the hell it's called, section, I don't know, it's some weird kind of name for a place, but it's not normally at, the Manhattan Center or the fucking totally blank in some sort of ballroom, Hammerstein Ballroom, whatever the hell the case may be, where they normally would hold Ring of Honor shows that we've seen in the past. Doing it at this new venue, which is it's got a sleek little look to it, and it looks nice on pay-per-view. It's kind of weird because it just goes straight up, and it's got tiers on the side. It's like where you'd see like an underground fucking like fashion show or some shit. It looks kind of interesting and unique for being on pay-per-view and stuff like that. But it's great to see them on pay-per-view. I know we got the anniversary show. I believe that was in February or March. So we've seen the last couple shows, just not able to get videos out to you guys, so I do apologize for that. But we have checked out a lot of stuff, and Ring of Honor has been pretty solid lately and doing some, putting on some good stuff and solid work. So definitely excited to cover this. Before we cover this, I need to mention me and Quaddy attending a couple Fridays ago, went to a live Ring of Honor show in Collinsville, Illinois, which is the closest show or closest venue they come to towards St. Louis, which is about an hour or so away, 45 minutes to an hour away. Had a lot of fun. The card on paper wasn't the best. We usually get a lot of tag matches. We get a lot of home-grown talent that they usually bring around, especially with St. Louis and stuff like that. But we had a lot of fun. Had a couple solid matches. The main event was pretty solid. I think it had Roderick Strong and Jay Briscoe against Moose and Michael Elgin. Had some stuff with the Kingdom. For me, the Kingdom was the MVPs of that show. Just had both pretty solid matches and just were stellar performers all the way through. They had signings before the show. They had the Kingdom out there doing signings. Michael Elgin with his wife Mischief, who was pregnant actually. She was there as well. Matt Seidel, who another hometown boy for our St. Louis goes, he was out there signing. And Moose was also out there. Didn't do any of the signings or anything like that. One fun thing, an awesome thing that I got to do, went to the bathroom during some fucking match. I don't even remember what the hell it was. Came back, and Seidel was off in the corner, and normally you see that after their match, and they had a pretty solid match with the Addiction. It was him and Delirious after their history and stuff like that, having a match with the Addiction, which was pretty solid. He's just off in the corner, talking to some guys, taking pictures here and there. Went up, was like, hey man, if you got opportunity, I'd like to take a picture with you or whatever, it'd be really cool. And got to talk with him. His brother was there, Mike Seidel. They're both extremely awesome guys. I know if anybody's out there who's been able to meet them or be able to meet them, would probably say the exact same thing. Very chill, very awesome, very personable, and really genuinely nice. So that's awesome to see. A lot of guys just kind of, they're all about just in there, whatever the fucking, we have to be here tonight, that's that. These guys, genuinely enjoy being there and love performing for these people, that show up with, 100, 350, maybe tops 400, barely that amount there. So very cool moment. Got a picture with him. Got to chit chat a little bit with him and his brother, which was really awesome. Genuinely nice guys. So that was a high point for us. Got a picture with like Steve Carino as he was leaving because we were like front row towards the entrance. So me and Quaddy had a lot of fun. We've been to, this was my, I think, 4th Ring of Honor show that they've had in Collinsville, and it's a blast every single time. Just being able to be in that live atmosphere with, like I said, 300, 400 people there, but seeing extremely talented, performers there. So anytime they come around, your neck of the woods, go check them out because it's something that you'll remember. It doesn't matter if you have the 70,000 people at WrestleMania, which I've been in, and I've been in those, places that only have 300 or 400 people like Ring of Honor, and they're both genuinely fun. I mean, they're fun in completely two different, ideas of what you get out of the shows and how they are, and interaction with fans and interaction with the talent, stuff like that. But it's a blast and it's a lot of fun. So definitely go out of your way to check that out if you're able to. If they come around town for you. Had a lot of fun there with Quaddy, and definitely be hoping to see whenever they come back to do it yet again. We're gonna go ahead and get this card underway for our Ring of Honor Best in the World 2015 preview. First matchup, we have the CNC Wrestling Factory, Wrestle Factory. Getting back together here with Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander going up against War Machine, Hanson, and Rowe. Having Coleman kind of back in the same wavelengths as Alexander. Alexander's kind of had a match with Okada, I think at War of the Worlds or Global Wars, one of the two, and kind of won in a heelish fashion. And then defeating Moose for the first time. Moose was undefeated, so defeating him as well. So trying to get them back on the same page. There was a couple promos on YouTube on their YouTube channel where Coleman was trying to get back with Alexander, say, hey man, we need to get back on the same wavelength, whatever the case may be. So having this matchup here with War Machine and Hanson doing a lot of singles stuff. I know he was in the world title matchup at the anniversary show, but getting together here back with Rowe returning, it was about a month or so ago. But this tag match should be some solid stuff. Nothing really too great out of this, I don't see, but I'm going to go with CNC Wrestle Factory actually getting the win here. If they want to maybe build them up, maybe end up turning them heel, whatever the case may be. I know they were faced when they ran before, but maybe try and get behind them. Alexander is a talented guy, and Coleman is, I thoroughly enjoyed his promo work on those on the YouTube channel. I thought it was some solid stuff. So maybe try to get behind them, build up another, quality tag team. If these guys could, build some chemistry back together and get going. War Machine, I think they're fine doing what they're doing. Just kind of throw them out there, just the big bruiser type guys that just do whatever. But I think you could maybe start to build something with Coleman Alexander here and see where that goes, or Coleman and Alexander here and see where that goes in the future. Next matchup, we have Dalton Castle going up against Silas Young. Easily one of the highlights of the live show that we attended was Dalton Castle. His entrance alone is it's awesome. I mean, the whole, awkward sexual undertone with these little dudes they have come out with them, and these, boys, it seems like, come out and fucking undressing them and waving them with, the peacock feathers and shit, and playing this old, old school kind of fucking just weirder character. It's enjoyable to watch. It's funny in a modern time in 2015. And it's entertaining, and you can't doubt that it's not entertaining because it's some pretty funny shit. And throwing him in there with the real man or whatever the fuck he goes as, Silas Young, it's gonna be your typical kind of comedic type stuff with Dalton Castle fucking around with Silas Young and this and that. But Castle's I would say underrated in the ring. We saw him with at the live show. It was Castle and Mike Bennett in a matchup, which was one of the best matches of the night. Again, not thoroughly the amount of I'm not trying to say quality of in-ring work that we would normally see at that live show. But as far as that goes, I think he's an underrated talent, and I think he's a guy that, as far as the character is, it's entertaining, it's fun, and it's nothing to take too seriously. It's just something out there that you, as soon as you see it, you're like, okay, that's fucking hilarious, is what they're doing there. But I actually look for Dalton Castle to get the win here. I think just continue to build that character, get some, some wins behind it, and see where it goes from there. But thoroughly entertaining. There should be some sort of, comedic type stuff in this matchup here. Next matchup, we have Matt Sydal and ACH going up against the Decade of Adam Page and BJ Whitmer. Why the Decade is still around, I have absolutely no idea. Jimmy Jacobs is gone. We've seen him in backstage videos after, Kevin Owens is winning matches as now a kind of backstage talent type guy now used with WWE and going to be used as far as writing goes with WWE. So that's awesome to see for Jimmy Jacobs, a guy that definitely, a big key behind Age of the Fall and all that storyline and everything. So, you have that kind of talent as far as writing goes with WWE. I think that's definitely a strength for them. So that's good for Jimmy Jacobs and awesome to see for that. Matt Sydal and ACH, I like that tag team. Reminds me a lot of what, Air Boom was with Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston. Same sort of things. Not because one is black and one is white. Don't look at it fucking racist like that. Just because of the talent that is there. And it's because of the styles that are there and really how they work a match. Because it's pretty much, ACH and Kofi Kingston are hand in hand as far as the talent goes. And, yeah, so I think they work well together. I like the chemistry, the high-flying type stuff that they do. And Matt Sydal just seems like a guy who could just tag with anybody and you could believe it because he's just like a genuinely, like, just nice dude. And he's like, oh, yeah, man, you just want to tag together? And I'm a PWG. He's just recently DDT4. He tagged with Speedball Mike Bailey, a name that we brought up lately on shows. And Chris Sabin, which I thought that looked just like the Motor City Machine Guns as far as that. They're kind of wearing like more like rugged fucking gear and shit like that and look a lot more like Machine Guns. So just a guy that could pretty much flow and work with anybody. And I think he does that definitely here with ACH. For sure, see Sydal and ACH getting a win here. Maybe build them up towards maybe, some tag title shots in the future. But the Decade just, I don't even know why they have a fucking name anymore. But it's pretty much just, the younger guy trying to build himself up with BJ Whitmer, whatever. Who really shouldn't even be around anymore. But definitely look for Sydal and ACH to get the win in that matchup there. Next up, we have Mark Briscoe going up against House of Truth member Donovan Dijak, the fucking goddamn, I can't even think of the name. The amateur fucking tournament winner. I can't think of the damn name that it was for off the top of my head. But winning that tournament for all the younger talent that gets in there. I'll probably think of it here in like 5 minutes or so, but I can't right now. But it looks to be, a nice prospect for Ring of Honor, a guy that as soon as I look at him looks like a basketball player mixed with Nigel McGuinness. It's exactly what it seems like to me. He's got an athletic physique. He's a bigger guy. He's got a nice look. And he's an okay worker. He's got a pretty devastating finish that he's got there. He's green still. He still has got time to progress and things like that. But I think there's no problem with trying to build him up and see where it goes from there. Because like I said, he's an athletic, bigger guy that can move, and he's got a good look. And I think you could probably do something with him, down the road. Throwing him in here with a Mark Briscoe, who we saw at our show working with an Adam Page, another guy that, a Mark Briscoe could go in there and you could utilize it for anything. He's such a company guy, just like his brother Jay. You could throw them in there and pretty much do anything with them. You want to help him, build towards another tag run with his brother. You want to build towards, a TV title run with him, or you want to throw him in there with the young guy and help build him up and exactly what they're doing here. So I look for Donovan Dijak to get the win here. Maybe start to move him up a little bit, get him a push being in the House of Truth with the Jay Lethal, which I'll get to in a minute. And I think you could start to build something there with Dijak because I think there is some talent there and definitely a high end prospect. I think it was a top prospect tournament. There it is. Yeah, I figured it out. But yeah, definitely giving Dijak the win here over Mark Briscoe. Next matchup could have a fucking definitely match of the night contender here. We have a 6-man tag match with the Bullet Club, AJ Styles and the Young Bucks going up against the Kingdom of Adam Cole, baby, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. Just talent galore in this matchup here. As I said with the Kingdom, Taven and Bennett were just on point at our show that we were at. I think they're, obviously IWGP, the junior tag champs. I think they're junior tag champs. Junior or heavyweight, I can't remember which one. Doing some good stuff here and really getting behind them. And I think this tag run has done great for both. Taven doing stuff for the TV title and Bennett, trying to move up, towards the world title. And sticking them together kind of gives them a role, it gives them something, that they can build upon and then maybe work towards a higher end singles runs after they're together. But getting Adam Cole back after the injury, such a huge part. Obviously, I'm a huge Adam Cole mark. I fucking love him. I think he's a huge talent and a guy that, to me, should be in WWE right now. You look at a guy like a Tyler Black and where he went to, and now WWE World Champion. To me, I look at those kind of guys in the same light. And a guy with Adam Cole who has different facets. Obviously, you look at Seth Rollins as a guy who's got such pure talent and athleticism, and he finally worked on his promos and this and that, and his character and everything. To me, I think Adam Cole is just right there. He's a guy that has amazing promos. He's got a great look. He can work heel. He can work face. He's an amazing heel. And his promos are on point constantly. He's got it all, in my opinion. He's the 5-tool player, definitely Adam Cole. AJ, just what else can I say about my boy? He's just fucking whooping ass all over the world. Now has back that IWGP world title. Got a matchup with Okada coming up soon. That's AJ Styles. I mean, you give him a drive to go do something like he did after he left TNA. He's going to rule the world, and that's what he did. Best wrestler last year, winning PWI's Wrestler of the Year. In my opinion, he was the Wrestler of the Year as well, and just whooping some ass some more again this year. I think this is he's. It's like they had a caged animal, and you let him go, and now he's just free to do whatever the hell he wants, and he's just whooping ass, and that's what the phenomenal AJ Styles does. Young Bucks, obviously, one of the hottest, best tag teams, over the past couple years, and what they've done and everything with the Bullet Club, just catching fire. And just so entertaining with everything they do and stealing everybody's gimmicks and this and that and everything they've done over in New Japan. Just thoroughly entertaining. So I look for this one to be awesome. This should be some great stuff and so much talent in here. It's going to be high octane, flying around, spots here or there. Hopefully they give it some time. As for a winner here, I would probably think that Ring of Honor would side with the Kingdom to give them the win over the established Bullet Club. Bullet Club obviously doesn't need the win here, being in Ring of Honor. Their main home is obviously in New Japan. So to give the homegrown, established talent of a Kingdom, I think would help better here. I think it would help move up Adam Cole to what he's possibly could be doing in the future. Coming off an injury, and Styles and the Bucks are going to do what they do. Obviously, like I said, Styles with the New Japan title or IWGP title, and the Bucks doing everything that they do. So I don't think they're going to need it as much as a Kingdom would need it as far as moving forward. So either one, whatever outcome happens, hopefully just look for some great stuff here because there's just pure fucking talent all over this matchup. Next matchup, we have the number one contenders three-way match for the for Ring of Honor World Title shot. We have Roderick Strong, Michael Elgin, and Moose here. We had a lot of interaction at the show that we went to in Collinsville with these three. Obviously, the three of the four that were in the main event, not including Jay Briscoe, who was also in that. A lot of talent in here. Moose, a guy that pretty much is all character. It's all about the first 10 seconds you see him and his entrance and everybody doing the fucking Moose shit, and then he gets in there and it's like, that leaves a little bit to be desired. Elgin is just kind of just there. He's nothing as far as a character goes. He's nothing as far as charisma goes. When you get him in the ring, he's an outstanding worker, and that's what he's been over the past couple of years, and 5+ years, whatever the case may be now, and really making his name over the last couple of years. And as far as the great matches that he's had and everything he's done, and Ring of Honor, PWG, all over, he's definitely a solid worker. And my boy Roddy just whooping ass, having one of the best years of his entire career. At the latter part of 2014 and then into 2015, the current PWG World Champion. And Roderick is boosting up Ring of Honor right now with the face run that he's on, and I look for him to possibly be heading for the world title come by the end of the year, because I just think his work has just spoken for itself as far as having to pretty much drop the title off of Tyler Black back in 2010 to Roderick, and the kind of lackluster title run that he had, still having good matches and being the quality talent that he is, but really not getting the full-fledged this is what we were planning to do with you. Because it seemed like it kind of just we have to do this because Tyler's leaving, he's getting signed with WWE, this or that. So, but I actually look for Roderick Strong to get the win in this one and become number one contender. To me, I just think it's going to be the fresh thing to set up what I have going on with the world title. And either way, whatever case they go with the world title, but in my opinion, what they're going to be doing in the main event here, I'm going to go with Roderick Strong. And this one should be some good stuff. If you kind of hide Moose's negative aspects and kind of focus on his brighter parts, which is the high octane type offense of the just the bigger, just go in there and just kind of do some shit, as far as the big guy does, the higher spots and the power spots and whatever the case may be. But really look for this to be driven by Roderick Strong and Michael Elgin, who could, if they just had a one-on-one match, would be fucking awesome. But throwing Moose in here, hopefully they could work around him and kind of not focus on that too much and just kind of work around Elgin and Strong. But look for Strong getting the win in that three-way match, which should be another quality one on this card. Next matchup, really looking forward to this one. We have the no DQ match for the Ring of Honor tag titles. We have champions The Addiction, Daniels and Kaz, going up against Red Dragon of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Obviously, the former champions, Red Dragon, getting the rematch here, flipping them face, and having The Addiction turn heel after forming up finally the KRD, the Knights of the Rising Dawn, with Chris Sabin, which loved that segment. That was great with them winning the titles and turning on Red Dragon and unveiling Chris Sabin to be a part of it, which is kind of cool, having the kind of influx of TNA guys make that little three-way stable. If they want to add more guys, go for it. I think it's kind of interesting. Haven't really focused on it as much, but not getting Sabin in there, but should be interesting to see what we get out of that. I look for him to probably get involved in some sort of fashion in this one. Making it no DQ is kind of interesting with these two tag teams, which are usually just pure wrestling based guys, not really brawling type guys, but I think they can definitely pull it off. Red Dragon, who I can't talk enough about. I think they have just by themselves just built themselves into, in my eyes, one of the best, if not the best tag team in the entire world. For me last year, they were the tag team of the year. They were tremendous. Everything they touched was gold. Whether it was working with the Bucks, whether it was working with anybody over New Japan and PWG, whatever the case may be, the Briscoes, anybody they got in the ring with, it was great. So yeah, I look for this one to be some definitely high quality stuff here. You just got pure talent all over the place. I'm going to go with The Addiction, actually retaining the tag titles here. To me, it would just look like they're just flip-flopping it back and forth if they just give it back to Red Dragon, and who knows where they go from there. Red Dragon seeming to do a lot more. I know Kyle O'Reilly being in the Best of Super Junior tournament, he was in the finals of that, does not doing stuff in PWG as much, but seeming to not do as much as Ring of Honor anymore, so I look for them to keep it on The Addiction here. And you could set up some stuff, down the road with, you do CNC Wrestle Factory, you do War Machine, you do Seidel and ACH, which I think would be a good feud with The Addiction. I think that would be some quality stuff, but hopefully we can see Red Dragon stick around for a bit. But look for this one to be another, possible match of the night, because these guys can go out there and just kill it. They have, I know they think they had a match at last year's Best in the World. That was some really great stuff. So, yeah, O'Reilly and Fish work so great together, and I think they're going to go in there, with Daniels and Kaz, and both have in mind that they could work a great, no DQ matchup here, and they could work around some spots on the outside, and they could, do some quality wrestling in ring and blend it all together into a great tag match for the Ring of Honor tag titles here. But I'm going to go with The Addiction, holding onto the titles in that matchup. Next up, we have the main event, title versus title for the Ring of Honor World title and the Ring of Honor television title between World Champion Jay Briscoe and Television Champion Jay Lethal. I just love everything about this. This has just been booked just awesome. Everything about it is just awesome. The way that Jay Briscoe has been built up over the past couple years, not being penned in over 2 years, and I cannot say enough about what Jay Lethal has done over the past year. Literally everything he has done has helped himself build towards becoming an established main eventer. A guy who has, been a perennial mid-card type guy, who's been a great talent, who really doesn't focus too much on his character and his gimmick and this and that. He had the Black Machismo thing and whatever the case may be. But pretty much a mid-card guy that's just a great worker, goes in there and he does his stuff. But over the past year has just turned into such a great character and really an old school 80s NWA heel, Flair or Nick Bockwinkel or whatever. No, of course, Bockwinkel more AWA, but just a quality like 80s heel champion. The way he carries himself, the way he carries the title with Truth Martini, who's a very old school type manager. Just his entrance, the way he carries himself, it just feels very old school, but yet with a new flair to it. Calling himself the best first generation wrestler, and calling himself Ring of Honor World Champion because of the great run he's had as the television champion. So to me, the stars really aligned to make this really an epic feeling main event. And another thing that helped towards it was, if you check on our channel, the video that I liked with the Best in the World opening video, which is a promo for this matchup, it is fucking epic. I mean, it makes you just want to be like, I want to fast forward to Friday so I can get to this damn match, because it feels fucking epic, and it feels very old school. Like I said, it feels like a Jay Lethal of a major territory champion coming into this smaller promotion to face their world champion, a guy that went from promotion to promotion or whatever the case may be, and coming in to Ring of Honor, this small promotion that he kind of feels like he's, way bigger than, and, Jay Briscoe being the through and through, Ring of Honor guy that's gonna hold his ground, saying, you've done everything, you haven't pinned me, and you haven't beaten me. You may have beaten this person or that person, but I got a track record that speaks for myself, and I haven't been pinned in over 2 fucking years. So, like I said, stars really aligned for this one. So looking forward to it. I think the work is going to be great. I think they're going to play off the epicness of that feel and really build a story around that. But to me, to really make this come full circle, I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to put the world title on Jay Lethal. I feel like he's such a deserving guy, a guy that's worked his ass off. If you see the video that I talk about, that opening video, you can see where he came from and everything he worked for. Being in Ring of Honor, going to TNA, and being a great worker, and not really getting a lot for the quality of a worker that he was. Winning X titles or whatever the case may be here and there, and then coming back to Ring of Honor and establishing himself as a quality guy that has built himself up towards a main event level with his ability, with his promo work, and with his character, because it feels bigger than anything else you've seen Jay Lethal do, and that's exactly what he's done. So I think there's a lot of fresh things you could do. As I said, having Roderick Strong win the number 1 contenders match, a Roderick Briscoe would be great, but a Roderick and Lethal match, having that face Roderick Strong, another Mr. Ring of Honor chase after Jay Lethal for the world title. I think that's a lot more fresh feeling. I think great for what Jay Briscoe has done for the Ring of Honor world title, guy who was so deserving when he did win it. It's been over a 2-year title run, the flip-flopping back and forth that he's done, with Adam Cole or Michael Elgin or this and that, whatever the case may be, but not being pinned in over 2 years. I mean, that's pretty insane in modern day wrestling. But to me, this is a perfect opportunity to do this with Jay Lethal. I think it's a fresh thing. His character is there. His promos are there. He's got a great manager behind him with Drew Martini and everything that he does, and everything about Jay Lethal has just been gold over the last year. Everything he's done in ring, I can't put him over enough. It's been really solid stuff, and I look for some interesting stuff in the future. You do stuff with Lethal and Strong, or Adam Cole, or any of the guys, bringing AJ or something like that, doing AJ and Lethal, and kind of tie in some TNA, old type of stuff. You have so many fresh matchups for a Jay Lethal. If he does win the world title here, whatever the case may be, what they do down the line with the television title. But I can't wait for this. This should be another quality one, and really one of the more epic feeling main events they've made for set up for Ring of Honor in quite some time. And thoroughly looking forward to this, and should be some really quality stuff. Again, can't say it enough. If you guys are able to check this show out, definitely do it, because it's really set up to be some really, really quality stuff here throughout the card. Just so many names, so much talent here up and down the card. So should be some fun stuff come Friday. So now wrap up our Ring of Honor Best in the World 2015 preview. Be sure to check out our review after the pay-per-view Friday night. It'll probably be pretty late. I know it gets over here in the Central Time Zone in St. Louis at 11 o'clock. So be looking for that one to be up pretty late. I know we had the Money in the Bank up really, really late, almost like pretty much Monday morning. We're doing a lot of fucking around and shit with Ryan. It's pretty much just what we do whenever we get 2 of us and time to waste. That's pretty much what happens. But yeah, look for that Friday night, and we'll have that review up for you guys. But I'm J-Man, and thank you guys for watching another edition for Wrestling Pulse, Professional Wrestling World.